Hello and welcome back to the finishing line.
I done you there.
No.
It's great. No.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Tom, how are you?
Good, Dave. Good. Oh, Jesus. I would have been better if my nap didn't finish second and my next best fell early. So, yeah. Not a great week for the nap and next best. But apart from that, yeah, good week. Got the Charles Burns winner. Happy days.
Anything else, Tom?
Now I feel like there should be something else. No, very chilled weekend. Spent a lot of time at home, chilling out. Got a big weekend next weekend. So, had an easy one.
Did you do your workout, Tom?
Nope. Not a chance.
He had an easy one.
Andrew, how are you?
Grand Dave.
You don't have a workout to do, so...
I'll do it tomorrow, Dave, and then I'll do it Tuesday. I will. Promise.
I'll come train you on Tuesday.
I would take a picture. Wow, Jesus. You definitely would. I'll take a picture of me doing the workout tomorrow, Dave.
Yeah. So all you need to do is pour water over your face, Tom, and you...
I know. If I'm going to do it, I'll do it.
No, I don't trust you.
See, the magic word in there was if. If I'm going to do it.
Anyway, we are going to talk about the showcase meeting. We finally had some decent jumps racing back, and we had a meeting at Aintree today as well.
And a 3-mile bumper.
A 3-mile bumper with the old sun in the way. Willie Mullins stable tour, we'll touch on that as well. Not that we probably know as much as we did before it came out anyway.
Take it all, go anywhere.
And then we have our second Ante-Post tip. And I presume we're going to do it live here, are we?
I presume so.
We're going to do that live. Good evening to all the people in the comments, and we'll touch on Ben's comment first. Andrew wants to reply, so fire away.
So here's my thing. Value, everyday value. The whole thing.
Have to read Ben's comment first for it to make sense.
Oh yeah, I forgot people can see. Go on,
Andy. Okay, Tom is excited.
So Ben says, for Andy, which is the first bit that's going to piss Andrew off out of this comment. For Andy boy, before you get into it, if he doesn't believe in value, why do you bet Ante-Post? You'd be better waiting until a day and you know everything about them all. It's to get value and a clown face emoji.
Right, Benny boy. Everyday value, the whole keep backing 7-1 winner, you'll eventually get a 7-1 winner. Keep backing 20-1 winner, you eventually get a 20-1 winner. Oh, it's the maths. Look, I just don't believe in it, plain and simple. Ante-Post betting is figuring out the race. Is who's going to go where. Tom, you can rub your hands against your eyes all day you want. You can put back your value till the cows come home. Rarely works.
It's maths.
Horses don't know what price they are. You don't know how the horses are going to run. You can put your maths and all your figures in front of us. I don't believe in it. You can show me all the figures you want. I have a different way of doing it, and it works, plain and simple. It works every time, not every week. I mean,
they said believe the science and go with it. That was a lot of fucking noise as well. Yeah. But that's none of my business.
But that's all fucking your maths and whatever you want to do. Ante-Post is figuring out the horse, figuring out where he's going to go, and which race he has the best chance in. That's me working out Ante-Post markets, Ante-Post horses. You're figuring out where the horse is going to run. That's plain and simple. Not going to get delving. Not going to spend half the year talking about it because I've explained why I don't believe that.
Ben,
many times ago.
Used to owe me a pint of Guinness anyway, so I'll take that on PayPal. DM me.
Let's talk racing.
Let's talk racing.
Yeah.
Great coup to get John McConnell as a guest after 2 days of Cheltenham.
I'm hoping that's ABW. That's definitely an ABW comment.
John McConnell, you know what I'm saying? He had a great couple of days, couple of nice winners. I think the bumper winner was is a nice horse going forward. Wrexham, on the other hand, is not.
What?
Wrexham.
I thought you're on the I've started watching Welcome to Wrexham.
Don't know what that is.
That's very good.
It's the documentary with Ryan Reynolds and Rob McConnell bought Wrexham.
He's funny.
It's very good.
But John, how are you feeling after your profitable showcase Cheltenham meet?
Yeah, well, fair play to John McConnell. It was a fantastic weekend for him, wasn't it? Yeah, he has some really good horses. I really like that bumper horse. I thought he did very well. That turned into a sprint, and he quickened away clear. And he's still very green. I think he's going to be a lot better than people give him credit for. He was a 210 grand point-to-pointer. So I think it's one of these. If he was in any other yard, people would be giving it the big one about him, wouldn't they? 210 grand winning point-to-pointer, and there's now won 2 out of 2 bumpers. Lads, we should get John McConnell on sometime, shouldn't we?
No, so you won't know who we're talking to then.
Yeah,
It's too confusing.
it'll be very confusing.
Joe Hull. Was life in the Park Value? No, because he was shit.
Before we get on to that, we'll go back. We'll go back to Friday anyway, and some of the performances we'll touch on. We won't touch on every race, but maybe Ash Tree Meadows race. He was beaten by Strawfan Jack. I personally think Ash Tree Meadow is an idiot.
Hey, he
threw the race away. Maybe he needs to be when one of them Archibald rides, held up right until the end. Tom, what do you think?
Sorry, I was reading a comment, Dave. What horse was that?
See,
Andrew, what do you think?
No, let him see. Can he claw himself back from this one?
Ash Tree Meadow, Tom.
Ash Tree Meadow. Yeah, look, I was disappointed he didn't get the job done, to be honest. I thought jump at the second match. He traded at 1.08 in running. I thought he'd get the job done. I don't think he helped Davey too much. Yeah, I don't know. I think the fact that he was also entered in a 3-mile novice chase tells you all you need to know about him now, really. I'm not sure they know what trip he wants, and maybe a bit triplets. Nice horse. Keep an eye out for him come festival time, I would say.
Jack Clark says, get your value by stacking up on Pentland Hills for the Arkle at 50-1. Somewhere Kubo is smiling over there in Alloa in Scotland, but I can't see that happening. We'll go on to the novices.
Oh, it doesn't matter what I think.
No, you didn't want to talk.
Yeah,
I did.
Yeah.
Just doesn't want to know about it. That's plain. See, it was a Clarny or Listoli ran the time before that.
There's a few of them like that.
Just doesn't want to know about it.
Few of them like that.
Same one ran today. Just doesn't want to know about
We'll
it.
speak about him as well. The novices limited handicap chase. Andrew and our new man Sean, and someone asked why Sean isn't here. He won't be on every show, but will be helping us out for the bigger shows like Showcase Meeting that he was here last week, and the November meeting, and all the big kind of meetings that we have. And we get him on some Sundays for some Ante-Post tips as well. But
when
Andrew and Sean,
definitely not going to be here half the time. So yeah,
Andrew and Sean, we're both strong on hanging there. Personally, I couldn't see it. I think he
was hanging into the back of the telly.
He's
first off, he wasn't even put out in front.
Yeah, he's just, I don't know. Tully Beg was, I think, 13-8 at one stage and went off about 8-1. So I think that told the story, and he ran all right. I would say maybe there's other targets down the way. But the mare that won it won it very well. She beat Henry's horse Champagne Gold, jumped very well. I thought it was a nice performance.
Very good performance. I think that was our 5th in a row. Turning in, she looked like they were going to catch her, but her jumping won the game. Very consistent, obviously, horse, and where her limitations lie, don't know.
Tom?
Yeah, first off, like, she's some mare, isn't she? Absolute bunny to jump. She looked like a fantastic thing for Sean, fantastic spin for Sean Bowen out in front. He actually said afterwards that he said she was a bit too brave over hurdles, and Fences has just made her still brave, but she's had to back off them a little bit. She started off life over Fences off 120, went down to 114, down to actually 110. And now in the space of 5 runs, she's going to be up to around 140, I'd say. So rapidly improving for a fence. I think you'd have to aim for the mare's chase, wouldn't you?
Yeah, would look the obvious protocol, and she's running around the track.
Yeah, not saying she'd win it, but if she's 140 rated mare, the jumps like that, acts around Cheltenham and over that trip, you'd have to aim for the mare's chase, I think.
And John McConnell's first winner, or maybe he's the second, but the last race at Cheltenham, the maiden hurdle, Fenner Cross, thought it was a nice performance as well. Tom, I think you backed this one.
What did you think of it? One, yeah. This was one of my little like scumbag each way ones. I felt he would be placed. I was happy enough to take on the favourite, and yeah, it worked out and won very well. Interesting to see where he goes from here, but yeah, nice performance either way.
Andrew?
Yeah, good performance, bit of carnage on the turning, but I doubt that would have made any difference to the result. Won by 6 lengths. Yeah, grand. Nice horse. Where it goes, God only knows.
Now, before we go on to Saturday, we all learned something on Friday. We love Cheltenham with our Robin bastards.
That's going to cost a fortune when we go over there.
$7.50 for a pint of the black stuff. And me and Andrew, Tom as well, but Tom's never with us at the races because he's always doing something else. But we are quite happy drinking Guinness out of a plastic pint glass because for some reason it tastes very nice. You would think it wouldn't work, but it does work. A coffee cup? A paper cup? I'm not so sure about. I'm paying £7.50, £7, not euros, 50 cents.
€8.60 it works out.
For a pint of Guinness in a plastic glass cup is bollocks. What do you think about
that? Bollocks. It's look, obviously the prices are going up. $7.50 is a ridiculous price for any drink, any day of the week. A fucking paper cup. Seriously, like you're going right. They want to advertise it. The people I seen on Nick Luck show today. Your man always wears the bloody thing, Bob. Oh, you're going to the premium racing track. I'm going to the premium racing track. Why the fuck am I getting a paper cup then?
Yeah, correct.
If I'm paying $7.50 for a pint, I want it in a decent cup.
Yeah. But this all they came out and said they were keeping the festival of 4 days, and then bang, this happens on the Friday when people are back in for the first meeting of this racing calendar year.
Like, look,
it's too expensive.
It's not. Look, it's expensive. It's not so much the price that's bothering me. It's the bloody way it's been. You're getting it in a cappuccino cup. Let's call it spade a spade.
Yeah,
you're getting it in a coffee cup, a glamorized coffee cup with Cheltenham wrote on the side of it.
Imagine the racecourse not wanting to use single-use plastic. Disgraceful. You know, a lot of those they could get glasses that are like you wash the plastic things as well. Like
and you can easily have bins around. Yeah. Recycle bins around where they go in and they put them in and they recycle them the next day.
So that's not that common.
So that's bullshit.
The one thing I would say in kind of not Cheltenham's defense, but it is the same anywhere. If you go to a big football stadium, you go to a pop concert or a rock concert, whatever. I'm gonna get abused for that now, aren't I? You go anywhere like that. And those drinks are that expensive. They just are. It's just the world we live in now. People are seeing opportunity and they absolutely do you on it. It's not just Cheltenham. It is everywhere. I think it hits us because we want to go racing for a bit of crack. We don't view it as going to a music festival. And we don't want to we want to go there and have a few beers and whatever. And we don't want to get absolutely stung. The paper cup thing for me was the bit that, come on, guys! You should at least be serving them in plastic cups.
Yeah, as I said, as you said, like you're going to the best race course in, probably UK and Ireland. You're going to expect to pay a bit more. Price, whatever, everything's going up. Grand, $7.50. Give it in a proper cup. Like, I just don't get the paper cup thing.
Look, Tom mentioned
if it was some lesser track, grand, whatever.
Everything has gone up in price, but that don't make it right. Like, it's just corporate greed. And William is letting another comment then, don't buy a pint for fuck's sake. Like, that in a sense is the problem, because everybody should be able to go to the race course and be treated fairly and be able to buy a pint.
Save turtles.
But anyway, we move on.
Yeah, you can't. I don't think you can say. I don't think people should be priced out of.
No one should be priced out of having a bit of crack. Like.
That's the other side of it as well. like if you're going to premium events and stuff, like not everybody that goes to Cheltenham is going to be well off. So 750 for a pint, it's going to be a lot. Like they have to read their audience. Like it won't make any difference for 60, 70, maybe 80% of the crowd. It might make any difference whatsoever to the experience. For that 20%, it might put them off going again, and then that snowballs and the more people not going again. They're trying to get people into racing.
Now, the one thing I would say here is I would happily pay $7.50 a pint if I could just walk up to the bar, have two people in front of me, pay for my pint and leave. If it was £6 a pint and I was queuing for half an hour to get it and I was missing a race, I'd rather pay $7.50. However, I guarantee that's not the case.
The other side of this, and we could be talking about it all night long, but they give out about like young people taking over the race course and, you know, like sniffing cocaine and bringing it's the way of the world, bringing flasks in and getting hammered and then fights and what else and whatnot. Like those groups of like younger people or groups like stags and so on and so forth are not going to pay that money for a pint. So it encourages them to bring more drink into the course and get flutered on flasks of whiskey. I might even do that.
What?
I'll bring a flask of whiskey.
I told you I was doing that. You just don't read your messages.
So yeah, but I'm not paying $7.50 for the pint.
Oh, fuck that shit.
Well, I'd pay it. No, I'd pay $7.50 for the pint if it was in the proper glass.
That won't bother me in the slightest.
Somebody's just said about like, if you can't afford a pint, you can't afford the £90 entry ticket to the festival, right? And they said a ridiculous debate. The point is, so if you go and have 4 pints, that's £30. On top of your, I think one of the cheapest tickets for that side of the course is £90. So that's £120. Then say you want something to eat. I was there in April and it's basically 15 quid a head. So what are we at now? 120, 135 pounds. You've got to pay for fuel to get there. Let's call that 30 pounds. There's 165 pounds. You've probably got to pay for parking. That's another 20 pounds. 185 pounds.
That's before accommodation and all that kicks in.
That's before you've had a bet. And if two of you are going, that's the bones of £400 before you've had a bet. That's a lot of money. That is a lot of money in currency.
Yeah, your accommodation on top of that as well. And you're looking at ridiculous prices for the festival.
And look, it's an expensive week for people going over, and they're obviously, you understand that, but then just putting the prices up continuously is a bit much. Anyway, we'll go on to Saturday. I have to get my Racing Post app thing to work. Did you download it yet?
I didn't.
Don't. We will start with Fried Piper. He done the business. He beat Night Salute. I don't know what happened to my voice there. Thought it was a nice performance. They're saying they're going to, I think, aim him at the champion hurdle. I don't think he'd have a chance in hell in the champion hurdle, but what do you think, Andrew?
Good performance. I thought he'd beat him. Paddy Brennan at one stage coming down the hill looked like he was drunk.
Wow.
He made a dart to his left, and then he made a dart to his right. I don't know what he was at. Not that it would have made any difference.
Paddy Brennan does that the odd time, though. He's swinging around.
Paddy Brennan is one that goes to the stand side. But whether the horse jinked out to his left coming down the hill, he just suddenly made him. It was like he's after slipping up for a Lord, but he didn't. He just veered off. Look, it wouldn't have made any difference whatsoever. I keep calling him Fried Piper because everyone calls it Fried Piper. Pied Piper. A good performance. Is he good enough for a champion hurdle? No.
Tom, good enough for a champion hurdle?
I think he'll struggle, but I think he'll obviously go down that route. To be honest, on the Night Salute thing, I just thought that was Paddy Brennan riding a horse. To be honest, I didn't see any difference there.
That's what he looks like.
It was a sudden move.
Anyway, doesn't he?
And
it was out of nowhere.
He gives him one of these ones every now and again.
How he rides the finishing and doesn't fall off the back of the horse is beyond me.
I love it. Paddy Brennan. We'd actually like Paddy Brennan on this podcast as well. Paddy Brennan's listening, dude. Drop Andrew a DM. Yeah, he's not
listening. What do you want about?
And obviously we're taking the piss, but it's a bit like Luke Morris. Like, it just looks completely out of rhythm with the horse sometimes, but it's very effective whatever he does. But yeah, look, I thought there was a lot of money for him, wasn't there? And I think that kind of told a story. I think he's definitely improved. Gordon said he's filled out a lot. And yeah, look, he was impressive. Those 4-year-olds are just going to find it hard. I think all of them. I mean, even I was watching the Willie Mullins thing today on Vauban. Like, I still think he's going to find it difficult. They just do as a general rule. Really interesting on him. Willie said, classic Willie thinking out loud again, and he said, "All champion hurdle," and then at the end he said, yeah, or if you skip there and go to the 8-tree hurdle, it seems to suit some 5-year-olds better. So don't rule that out. If you were thinking about backing Vauban for the champion hurdle, I would hold your bets for the minute.
We'll move on to the 3:15, the handicap chase. Dad's Lad was the winner. Effernock Fizz again ran very well. Editor Dejit was in third, and for me, he was the one to take out the race. He's usually a front runner. He did not front run, and then ran on quite well at the end. Nice,
fantastic run by Editor Dejit.
Nice winner, but I think Editor Dejit would be primed and ready for the November meeting.
I hope so.
So do I. I will be backing him if he's entered. Tom, what did you think?
Yeah, I agree with you there, lads. I think the one to take out of it was definitely Editor Dejit for the November meeting. Yeah, he's going to have a hell of a chance there, isn't he? He's definitely not going to go up in the handicap. They might even drop him a pound, but he ran on there right at the end, and I'd follow him into the November meeting. Dad's Lad was very good. Travelled like much the best horse. A rare Willie Mullins handicap chase winner in the UK. He doesn't get many of them, but this lad did it very well, in fairness to him. Effernock Fizz. God, what were we saying about her? And going up she had to run off 133. Her Irish mark was only 114 over the fences. She's going to get absolutely annihilated now, I imagine, by the Irish handicapper as well. That she's shown that she can do that. I imagine she's going to go up to mid to high 120s, isn't she? Which is a real shame. Fair play to Connections for being so ballsy to go over there and give that race a crack, but it's gonna have backfired on them big time now, I feel. But yeah, she's a bonny little mare, isn't she? She really digs in and tries hard, so I'm sure she'll keep running well for them. But you'd feel they left a couple of races behind in Ireland.
Yeah.
We'll move on to the Pertemps Network handicap hurdle, and Shoot First won this. Tom put him up. Botox Haas qualified for the festival race, at least anyways, second, and I don't know, he just seems to just run on when it's too late all the time. And Andrew's horse Ante-Post was third, so we had the first, second and third in this. I'd love to know the stats on Charles Burns sending horses to England, because he tends, when he sends one, they get backed and they tend to run well. Andrew had the winner, the Cesarewitch, as well, and we mentioned a couple of times last year Blazing Cal being sent over there and could have raced in Ireland. And when Charles Burns sent the horse over, take note, and Tom backed him and took note.
Yeah, finally, as we have a laugh with you guys, the value paid off. He got massively well punted, this lad. It really told a story, to be honest. I fancied him. You could easily put a line through that run at the Stowell, and on his other form, then he had a massive chance, and he absolutely dotted up. He's still green. Like, that was only his 7th run of his life. He's still green as grass, and he's doing that off a 129. So he'd be interested in the final, because he's going to go up in the handicap. He's not going to go up that much. And I still think if they look after him, which I imagine they're going to now, aren't they? If they look after him, then he'd still have a nice chance in the final. Botox has qualified. I don't know. I'm just... It looks like, oh yeah, he's qualified now and he'll go and win it at the festival. I don't know. I'm not 100% convinced by that horse all the time. Dave, you were just saying there about Charles Burns' record in the UK, and in the last 5 seasons over jumps in the UK, he is 6 out of 38, 16% strike rate, minus €12.90. But maybe that doesn't tell the whole story. Winners to horses he's bought over there. He's bought 17 individual horses over there. 5 of them have won. So that's a good record.
Andrew?
Yeah, very good winner. As Tom said, probably looks ahead of his mark now. Green as grass when hit the front. He was all over the place. Would have a huge chance in the final. What they do with him now is another thing. Whether they run him again or just put him away.
Somebody just said in the comments there that they said he's going straight to the festival, which is, yeah, I can imagine that's probably the right plan to do for him. Dave, you were saying there, sorry, Charles Burns on the flat in the UK, 4 out of 7, 57%. 3 out of the 4 horses he's ran have won. That's an impressive stride.
Yeah, look, him to going straight to the festival now, he'd have to be of interest on the back of that because he looks like he was still green as grass. He's a lot to learn. He's only a 6-year-old. He could be still well ahead of his mark. Botek Haas, look, he'll probably place in it. Would you want to trust him to win it? Probably not, but look, he still looks like he's on a good mark. I think he only went up £1 for his win in that bloody... What's the race called? When he beat Brewing Up a Storm. At the end of last season.
Yeah.
The Fontwell race, is it?
That race, whatever the hell that's called.
Yeah,
he only went
grade 2.
Yeah, he only went up £1 for winning that.
National Spirit. That's it.
He only went up £1 for winning that, so he technically could be still well in. But look, he's getting enough chances already. The third, my selection on Taller, however you want to pronounce it, ran a good race. Where he's probably not good enough. He stays on a lot. I think a fence would bring out improvement in him in the future, but it was a good run. But yeah, I think the winner is the obvious one, and I think he's the obvious one to go with to Cheltenham. He's the age. He probably looks still well in, and he's with the right man to hatch a plan for Cheltenham.
Correct. We touched on the bumper winner. I thought he was a nice winner, and I mean a horse that a few of us fancy that Andrew was talking him up as a Brown advisory horse, maybe not on the ground that he was running. Life in the Park ran, I'd say, below par. A good winner, Chemical Energy. The owners of Pied Piper, they seem to have a nice crop of horses for Gordon. I think Gordon was saying the 4 miler after the race. I seen Davy's interview. He said that if they go too hard a pace, the horse's jump and kind of comes under pressure. But otherwise, if he can find his feet and travel away at a pace that he's comfortable in, he's a decent enough horse. But I'd say I'd give Life in the Park another chance on good ground. We had this debate on Wednesday, and his form has been better on good ground than winter kind of conditions, and the ground did change considerably over the weekend.
I would take the form of this race and throw it out the window. I think it's absolutely worse than nothing. I thought Life of the Park went off way too fast in front. I think he is suited by better underfoot conditions, but he just ran himself into the ground. Marlon Mission didn't run his race. He got beat 61 lengths by Chemical Energy. Marlon Mission's rated 141. If you believe that as literal form, then Chemical Energy wins the Gold Cup, doesn't it? So I can't view that as literal form. Look, I'm sure he'll go to National Hunt Chase. I'm sure he definitely has his chance. I wouldn't rule it out. But if you believe what you saw there, that's a Gold Cup horse and would go and win it this year. And I don't think he is anyway.
No, look, the ground went against him. It was a shit performance. There's no two ways about it. What I don't get was they knew he doesn't go on the ground. They knew the ground was going against him. Look, it probably looked a penalty kick with two runners in it. I'd be skeptical to go back at him again until he shows that was just a blip. Look, he's shown at the start of his career when he was third at Punchestown and 6 at Leopardstown that he is capable of coming back from poor runs. Whether he's just an out-and-out pure spring horse, that could be it. Have I given up on him? Not so much. I'd like to see him again before he goes. He has a target at Cheltenham. If he even is a Cheltenham horse at this stage. What I didn't get was they knew he didn't go on. He doesn't like the ground, but yet they kept him on the rail, on the worst part of the track, on the worst part of the ground. That's the same thing. And Davey realised his horse wasn't travelling the ground and brought him out. That's the difference between good jockeys and top class jockeys. Darrell O'Keefe didn't have the mindset. Tom, come on now.
I don't know.
You know yourself. You know the horse has proven that he doesn't like the ground, and he was going off at 1,000,000 miles an hour on that ground. And look, we've had a lot of jockeys, horses we were associated that has done that on ground. We know the horse is not fond of. So
I think he went too quick. I don't think it mattered what ground he was on, to be honest.
No, it probably didn't. But look, jockey or not, look, he wasn't good enough on the day, plain and simple. I don't see why they didn't just change, bring him out a bit seated, to make him travel a bit better or whatever. He's jumping. He was over jumping a few fences. Look, I'm trying to come up with things in my head that could have gone wrong. It was just a shit show from him, plain and simple. Wasn't good enough. Probably won't be good enough to win at Cheltenham. The winner, the race just fell apart.
I actually don't mind the winner. He was well touted as a bumper horse. I think he was 6th in the Martin Pipe last year. He's looks now to be a prime Elliott kind of 3-mile chaser. That is just too slow for hurdles, being kidded along. They knew he was going to be decent, and I'd say we won't see a lot of him. I know people are strong fancying for Gare de Menil for the National Chase, but Gordon has such a good record in it. If he was fully aiming that horse at the National Chase, I'd be taking note.
Would the comments of Davey not worry you though? Like you said, when he comes under pressure, proper pressure, his jumping falls apart.
Yeah, but sure, is the National Hunt Chase run fast? Not really.
Not run slow. Well, it's not run slow.
I think there'll be something there.
I don't think he.
The National Hunt Chase there, usually the more experienced jockeys are sat out the back, off the pace. They go a bit too hard in front, and then the better horses, better jockeys pick up the pieces. Kind of same every time that they. The best jockeys, he'd have Jamie Cott on him. I don't mind him. I think Gordon said they all got 66 to 1. If he had 66 to 1 on him, I think he'd be happy enough.
But they don't have frontal assault as well, though, do they?
But that's what I mean. They have a couple of horses, so they have a good line of where they need to be with him.
What would you have? Who would you have? Frontal assault over him? I have frontal assault every day of the week over him. Every day of the week over him.
I don't know. I like this performance. I think it was a kind of where Listowel or whatever it was as well. I think he's a nice horse.
Oh, there's no doubt he's a nice horse. Definitely a nice horse after winning that. But I think in amongst horses and hustle and bustle of Cheltenham, I think he'll miss one or two.
Well, he'll have to jump around, but we shall see. I think it was decent enough, I have to say. Today we had Hitman doing what myself and Andrew were saying Hitman does. He just, to me, doesn't want to win. He jumped really well. I was watching the race today. Came there. I know he was giving the winner a good bit of weight, but he had every chance to go past. Wouldn't put the head down and just go past and win half a length. It's just the head up in the air. And Harry Cobley, couldn't blame the jockey, couldn't blame anything. I just think the horse just... He's a bit of a monkey.
Doesn't want it.
A lot of seconds to his name now. When you look back last year, when he was second to Fakir Doudry, Fakir ran out a good winner, but he was much more under pressure than Hitman was coming down the straight. Hitman didn't want to go through it again that day either. So, what do you think? What are they going to do with him, Tom? I don't know what happened there. My voice is gone again. Try that again. What do you think they're going to do with him, Tom?
With Hitman?
Yes.
Don't know. Wouldn't have a clue. But I agree with you. Yeah, he wouldn't be carrying my money next time. Put it that way. Yeah, I wasn't mad about the way he went about things today. So yeah, probably wouldn't. Well, yeah, definitely wouldn't be for me anyway.
I wouldn't think he's for you either, Andrew.
No, there's one thing for certain though with Paul Nichols. He's going to give him a wind surgery now.
He's had 2 wind surgeries.
He's going to have a third one.
He's been after a second one, and I believe he's been aimed at the King George.
Jesus Christ almighty.
To be fair, Paul Nicholls done it with Clandazobo. He looked like he was a horse that wasn't going to fulfill his potential, and then he popped up on King George, and he's been good since. But I don't think Hitman is going to reach those heights.
You take off the nose, man. You stick a blinkers on him. See what happens. He just doesn't want to go through the effort. Even he looked jumping the last like he's just going to pick this fella up and win by 3-4 lengths. Didn't want to go past him. Even when they went past the line and they were pulling up, he still wasn't going past.
Yeah, he's traveling like the best horse in the race. I'd say he was the best horse in the race. But
didn't want to go past him.
A bit of a monkey.
If you look at his form now, lads, he's won 2 races in the UK. One was a beginner's chase where him and one other horse finished, and the other one was free runner novice chase at Newbury, for which he went off 1-7. I think that tells you all you need to know about Hitman.
Yeah,
and Basel just there about he only beat Galliard the minute giving him a stone. I don't think Frontal Assault will win. I've Galliard the minute backed for that already. I think nothing gets near him in
that.
Willie Mullins stable tour was out today.
Hang on, Dave. Because the 2 best performances this weekend were on the flat.
Oh,
we're not talking about the flat, Tom.
F off.
Emily Dickinson.
We're not talking about it.
No one cares.
They do. Auguste Rodin was unbelievable.
No one cares.
We're not talking about the flat.
He was great, lads.
Fair play to him.
He was lovely.
He ran in a straight line very fast.
He was lovely. I'll give him a hug when I see him.
Dave, you used to love the flat. What's happened to you?
Yeah,
jump season.
It was terrible this year. It's the truth.
2 good performances though this weekend.
Emily Dickinson won a yak race at the end of the season.
Proud of her. Step up for 2 miles. Work the Oracle. That Auguste Rodin though, lads, is
not talking about flat. I'm not listening.
Anyway,
carry on. That's what I'm saying. He's an error.
Willie Mullins stable tour was out today, and we discussed talking about it, but in the end, really, when you look through it, you don't really learn a whole lot than you already know or have decided yourself. I suppose some of the things he said
was Galopin was going to 4 different race courses.
Yeah, for Galopin, he don't know where he's going, but to me, I took out of it, I think Galopin perhaps will go to the John Durkin.
Allaho King George.
It sounds to me like he doesn't know which bar Facile, who is the other top level novice hurdler, and Facile could win both races in his opinion, and he'll wait and see what the others do and then decide. So I would be holding fire on novice hurdle bets. He said Tom's horse Gaelic Warrior is an Albert Bartlett horse, so a slow boat.
Interesting, I thought.
A slow boat.
And he said on Galloping the Champs, he put forward some options: Clonmel, Punchestown, Sandown, and then either Leopardstown or Tremor. So just the 5 races we could potentially see Galloping in.
So
we're on to 7.
In the end, we decided maybe not to discuss it all that much and just pop on yourself and give a read through all the horses that he has up. Not all of them were there that you would expect, but a good few. He gave a write up on a good few of them, and it's something to look forward to.
Redemption Day is the big one that's missing, isn't it? Let's face it.
Or maybe it's not a big one.
You just don't like
it obviously is based on his bumper form, so it is a big one that's missing. So
Alan Walton, Facile for Supreme, speed and stamina required, tailor-made. I would agree, but it doesn't really sound in the stable tour. That's what's going. But like this happened last year, and there was horses going every which way from Sunday. So
Willie Mullins bingo. I think he's a Ballymore horse. I've always thought he's a Ballymore horse.
We shall see.
Probably end up in the Bartlett or something.
No, he definitely won't go to Bartlett.
One more piece of news, lads, this weekend, and it's a huge piece of news, and it only broke about an hour ago. The first lady of the podcast, Princess Zoe, has been retired.
She done the podcast a few favours.
She got us through lockdown.
Yeah, through lockdown, and Tony was on, and
she was fantastic. I'm just going to look up the mark that she got beat off that day at Navan. I swear it was Shane Foley, wasn't it? Got her
65.
It was something like
64.
67.
64. You got a beat off 64 in a 0-70. And it was from that day on that she caught my eye, and and you, Andrew. We got stuck into it then at the Curragh and Galway the next times, and she just went on improving. We never got the hurdles dream. My fear came true that she was actually too good over on the flat, and had dodgy legs. But apart from that, she's been unbelievable, hasn't she? So enjoy your retirement and hopefully breeding lots of babies.
Yeah, thanks, Princess Zoe. Good horse. Good times. And on that note, we will move on to our second Ante-Post tip. One each again, one race. And Tom, you are going to go first.
Jesus, the shit I'm going to get for this now.
Oh, God. What's he going to do?
First off, what I'm going to say is there was a couple I wanted to put up, and classic Ante-Post this year, the prices are too short. The two horses were Shoot First in the Pertemps. I think he's got Pertemps written all over him. I still think he's chucked in. Shown he can handle the Cheltenham now. You know, he's going to have the young lad taking £7 off him. He's 8-1. Like, what's he going to be on today? 5-1? So, you know, it's not like if he was 12-1, I'd be interested in backing him. He's 8-1, lads. Like, you know, you're going to get 5-1 on the day or a couple of days before, you'd imagine. The other one was in the Hunters Chase, just because Andrew's got me looking at this race now like a madman. And the horse is Winged Leader. He was second last year. He's 5-1. Like, what price are you going to get about Winged Leader on the day at Cheltenham? Like 4-1, shortest, I imagine. So I just can't tip those. So the one I've gone for, and he was on my list of ones to follow at the start of the season. And what Willie Mullins said today has made me tip him up for this race, because I had a look at it, and I think it's a weak market, and he's 20-1, and it is obviously Gaelic Warrior for the Albert Bartlett. Your two faces, prices.
Oh,
okay, that's what they Somebody got
Gaelic Warrior tip anyway.
Somebody got very excited about my Gaelic Warrior.
Jesus.
Wow.
What's it called? Tinder Hot
Dates.
Best adult dating site.
Hang on now, lads. We're not promoting them. If we're not getting paid for it, we're not promoting them. Come on.
Slide into the DMs there.
We don't need to go over the Boodles form and the Boodles run again. It is painful enough for me, but he just did everything wrong that day. Travelled like way the best horse. First run over hurdles in the UK or Ireland. And yeah, just going on. I thought he was more of a supreme Ballymore horse, but I think Willie's kind of stacked for that division. And what he said about him today was quite interesting. I'm scrolling down to it now. He's probably one of the best maidens going into the novice hurdle season. Looked at his performance in the Boodles when he's second after jumping to the right, which didn't help him. He looks like a horse who could be bound for the stay-in division. I'd say 2.5 miles plus over hurdles. So I'm going to look at the Ballymore or Albert Bartlett at the moment. He got great experience from last season, and anyone would be happy to have a maiden like him going novice hurdling this season. What else I did then was there's only one horse, and I cannot remember the name of it now at all, that Willie put up for, that was it, Seabank Bistro, is the only other horse he mentioned in the stable tour for the Albert Bartlett. I think he's stacked in the Supreme and Ballymore division. So I think if he's got that in his mind for Gaelic Warrior, I think that's where he'll go. And all he said about Seabank Bistro is a real chasing type with a nice chasing pedigree. He'll go hurdling season as a possibility, possibly an Albert Bartlett type. So I think 20-1 in the market like this, when the favourite is American Mike. Gordon said in his stable tour he thinks he's a 2.5 miler. I think he thinks he's all class as well, that horse. I don't think he thinks he's a slow stayer. And then Redemption Day is the next one, and then it's Gaelic Warrior. So yeah, I think 20-1. I'm happy to take a punt at that price.
Do you want to go next?
Sure, may as well. I am going in the Supreme Redemption Day. I really think, look, he's 8-1 right now. Look, it's not much of a race when you look into really. If a Fansbet Vega goes out to Ballymore, we'll know what the day before Supreme.
Yep.
And all as well, I think Redemption Day might be favourite if he's all well and good. Look, you've Impulsive Dancer, who's a good winner. Last season, you have American Mike, who's not going to run in Supreme. You have Jet Power, who hasn't seen a race career. He won his point to point. Elaine Thomps, Mercury, Marine Nationale. So there's a lot of horses there who've not really done much yet. But Redemption Day, look, far behind Fansbet Vega is there to be seen. I'd ride 100% right off the run at Cheltenham. A lot of horses knocked on the ground that day. He doesn't like that ground. Look, there's a lot of people saying ground dependent, good soft ground he'd be grand on. So yeah, Redemption I think has a good chance. Fansbet Vega goes there. Obviously, Fansbet Vega will probably beat him, but there's 8-1 right now each way. Can't see him being out the top 3 if he shows his form over jumps.
So Redemption Day for Tom and Gaelic Warrior for Tom and Redemption Day for Andrew. And I'm going with one that I tipped up last year for the same race. 3-time Cheltenham Festival winner, 2-time champion hurdle winner, and she's 7-2. She should be a favourite. You might get 4-1.
Get 4-1.
And I thought Tom was tipping her up as well because we discussed this.
I was going to. I knew you would.
And it's Honeysuckle. So 2 tips and 2 Henry horses. Who would ever have thought it?
Wow.
I think I'm not even going to say each way. I think it's crazy the discrepancy in price between Constitution Hill and Honeysuckle. The fact that she's beaten who I consider, after any power, the best mare. I thought Benny would definitely beat her at Cheltenham that day. I think she beat Benny fair and square. Some people give out that the ride Paul Townend gave him Benny, but she had every chance to get back up. She's then won 2 champion hurdles. That's not even discussing the fact that she's never been beaten. She turns up all the time to every race that's planned for her. She only just does enough. I've numerous times tried to get her beat, thinking, oh, she's on the decline. She's a mare. She's giving it up. And she just keeps turning up and doing her job. I think this is her last season. 3-time champion hurdle winner, like Istabrack. Constitution Hill, I respect the fact that he's trained by Nicky Henderson and he's trained champion hurdle winner, so on and so forth. But I would question the form of the Supreme. John Bond was used as a pacemaker. That's obvious. Behind him, Mighty Potter didn't run his race. I think he struck into a hurdle and then just dropped off. Kilcrut, in my opinion, hasn't gone on from the bumper success. Don't know what to make of Dysart Dynamo. We haven't seen him, so I don't know. I know Tom likes him, but it's hard to know. And then I know people are going on about the time of the race and so on, but it was just run at such a fast pace because of the way John Bond ran the race. And it was, for that time of year and stuff, it was crazy fast ground. I respect Constitution Hill, but already Nicky has come out and is ducking the better horses. Prime example with Shishkin as well, and other horses he had through the years. They missed targets, and he's still 11-8 favourite. 6 crap horses in England. He'll go to Sandown for the Contenders Hurdle. He won't have faced anything decent. Whereas Honeysuckle is going to turn up. 3-time Cheltenham Festival winner, 2-time champion hurdle winner, and you're getting 4-1, and he's 11-8. I think it's the most obvious bet of the whole festival.
Considering you put her up at 13-8 in November last year, Dave, I'm not surprised, to be fair, when you're getting 4-1.
There shouldn't be that much discrepancy in the market. She shouldn't be 4-1.
Alex Jeffrey has wrote up, who has she beat though, lads? She beat every single horse that ever faced her. Who has Constitution Hill beat? He beat John Bond, who's only beaten then El Fabiolo by a neck or a nose or whatever it is. The other horses that Constitution Hill beat, like Jetoile and other ones, are terrible. So,
judging by the comments there, this is going to run all season. Unless she starts getting beat and we start worrying that she is on the decline, he's going to turn up in Mickey Mouse races and win them. And then she is going to have hard races, in fairness to her. And if she keeps winning, then this is going to run and run and run. And we're going to be having the same conversation for the next 6 months, all the way to March, because he's going to dot up in a couple of dog races. And if she keeps winning, it's going to be the same talk. Yeah.
You're either in the Honeysuckle camp or you're in the Constitution Hill camp. There's only two ways about it. You'll make an argument for Honeysuckle and you make an argument for Constitution Hill. He's favoured on what he could be. And look, he could be unbelievable. The performance at Cheltenham was unreal. There's no two ways about it. It was unreal. But he has to go against a multiple Grade 1 winner. A horse has never been beaten. Look, I hope the two of them get there in one piece, and whoever wins on the day, let's hope it's just a good race at the end of it all.
Well, let's hope it's Honeysuckle.
Yeah, pretty much.
There you go. On that note, we will see you Wednesday. I don't know what we have the weekend.
What's on next week?
There'll be some sort of jump.
Let me have a quick. The entries and stuff aren't even up. God only knows, lads. What is on in Clonmel on Thursday? And I'd say we've 2 entries, and I'd say 0 runners, maybe 1 runner. We'll see. Ground could be bottomless. It's the Grand Sefton. No, it's not. That's the fun. God only knows what's on next week, lads. It's Down Royal the week after, anyway. That's all I know. That's a hell of a meeting. So.
There's plenty of jumps coming, and we'll have fairy outs coming up soon enough. We'll see Honeysuckle in maybe a month's time or whatever it is.
A few comments are on for.
They're not new complimentary, so I don't know if you want to.
There's a few going on. Too early to be putting up fucking novice hurdlers, blah 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 blah. But half of fucking Twitterland are putting up horses that haven't even seen a race course yet.
Look,
I don't get that. Like,
Jet Powered is one of these talking horses for the Supreme, and I know you like Redemption Day, but I don't think you can be commenting about Redemption Day if you back Jet Powered, because look, personally, I just don't trust Nicky Henderson anyway. So, I think he sees things.
Everyone are experts though these days. So,
they're coming down to price. Me, as I said, like those 2 horses, I think have got cracking chances in those.
I'd rather back Redemption Day, who we know has been up the backside of who majority of people think could be one of the best novice hurdlers we see this season, and to finish that close to it, and if he goes to Ballymore and he transforms his bumper form to hurdles, who's saying he's not the one that can all to beat? It's a game of opinions. That's my opinion. If you don't like it, I couldn't give 2 flying fucks.
Andrew's very saucy today.
I'm not.
Isn't he? He's been questioned more than once, and the once he'll take, the twice gone.
Shane Kelly said,
I'll have this argument with you in your face.
Shane Kelly said Weatherby is on, so that must be the Charlie Hall chase, the Grade 3 Charlie Hall chase. So that'll be a nice race.
Here's one. I don't know if you 2 saw about it. Was the guy who cashed out? He was on the Harry Fry bumper horse to win 420 grand, but he cashed out for 47, something like that. Punter cashes out for 57,968. We could have won 425 grand after his last leg won. He had a £1 lucky, £1 lucky 31, and a fiver on a 5-fold accumulator. Lads, this is why you don't cash out.
Never run.
Lay off your bet a bit if you fancy it on bet.
Jeff Herb was on at 33s, not 12s. Still doesn't make a difference if it doesn't win. If it doesn't place.
Yeah, I don't get the Jet Powered thing, to be honest. But there you go. All these horses have to come out. I'm sure Willie has
half won't even fucking
numerous jokes from France that are coming in. I know people have mentioned Lossium out in the comments, and I had mentioned it to Andrew, but
who?
Lossium out, the
Rich
Juvenile
Triumph thing.
I seen the race she won in France before Willie went over, and Richie bought her, but I think she was 25 to 1 at the start of the market. She's 10 to 1 favorite now. You know what I mean? Can't be Can't be back in that.
It's hard. Ante-Post is hard now these days because they're shorting everything for no reason whatsoever.
And Alex Manfield says, and we'll leave it on this one, Hitman lacks a killer instinct. Have a good evening.
Have a good evening. Oh, what did I press that for? Oh.